Garrison's the topic of the day, and today I have Chiskel with me to give me some tips. What is up, my friends? My name is Echo, and Chiskel is back on the channel again because he's here to teach myself and teach you how to set up your garrison and your wall so that your city can defend against some of the biggest rallies, even if you are free to play. Chiskel, how you doing today, man?
Hey, doing great. Eager to talk about city defense and setting up your garrison so that if you are attacked, you can defend yourself effectively.
Yes, and I'm excited about it because in my kingdom, Chiskel, we have a little bit of conflict going on. Brand new kingdom, we just jumped here, and you know, there's a little bit of controversy. So I had to bubble up this morning, and it made me say I should probably get on with Chiskel and figure out my garrison so that I can defend as good as possible as someone that's only a City Hall 17. But you know what? Why not just set up something that's at least solid to do as best as I can, at least for now. So you're here to guide me, and I know before we started any of this whole jumper project out, you told me that Sun Tzu was going to be playing a key role in this, and I'm assuming he's going to be part of the discussion today. But before we go any further though, guys, make sure you sub the channel and ring the bell for regular Rise of Kingdoms videos. But not only that, you guys are going to have to go check out Chiskel. He is the veteran Rise of Kingdoms content creator. On his channel, he does all the end game stuff and all the beginner guides as well. His channel has it all. It's linked down below in the description. But your advertisement is over now, Chiskel. It's time to talk about Garrison. Start me out. Where do you want me to look? What are we going to talk about here first today so that everyone can have a strong Garrison in this game?
Yeah, let's roll up our sleeves, baby, and get to work. So there's some stuff we got to talk about here.
Yes.
You're going to need two commanders to protect your city, the primary and the secondary. And it's worth repeating that the talents and equipment and the skills on the primary all help, and only the skills on your secondary commander, not their talents, not their equipment, will help. So that secondary commander is there just for the skills. The first commander is there for the whole package.
Correct.
Now, one of my favorite commanders at the epic tier, in fact, arguably the very best epic in Rise of Kingdoms, is Sun Tzu. And he is a garrison commander. So one of the first commanders I think everybody should work on is Sun Tzu. And it's not a coincidence that second commander on your wall, Boudica, also a really good commander to work on because she's good at battling barbarians. So I like what you've done here. You've got a Sun Tzu primary, and I would work on his talents all being oriented toward protecting your city. And you've got a Boudica secondary, who you probably are working on her skills. You probably chose Britain as your starting civilization. Great choice, by the way. You get extra sculptures of her.
Yes.
So the first two epics to work on in Rise of Kingdoms, in my opinion, Boudica, Sun Tzu, and that sets you off to such a good start.
Yeah, and that's what I was doing, and I have to say I did have a good coach leading me, and that coach was you, Chiskel, telling me exactly this a few weeks ago, and that's what I've been doing. I've been using Boudica for my barbarian farming, along with Lohar, of course, because of those events, and Sun Tzu, I've probably neglected him a little bit. I haven't sent him out as the backup for the barbarians as much as I should have, which is why he's sitting at a 14 and my Boudica's at a 27. But again, I also do get those sculptures for her being Britain. But we have skills. We're doing okay right here. We have the first one maxed out, second one ready to go. I do have 38 commander sculptures that I could put into him to finish up that second skill. Don't know if I should be doing that or not, so I was kind of waiting on you. But what I did here is that I shouldn't be using them on Boudica because I can get a whole bunch of sculptures for her because she is my, you know, my civilization. So Sun Tzu is my primary for the wall. Where are we going from here?
All right, we got stuff to talk about. Okay,
oh, God.
Couple things.
That means I'm doing stuff wrong, guys.
Well, not exactly. But what I can see from the levels of your commanders, just from the few that I see here, is that you're probably pairing Lohar and Boudica together as you battle barbarians.
You're good. And I shouldn't be. I know that I shouldn't be. I know that I should not be, yes.
Is to split them so that you've got two barbarian hunting marches and put your Sun Tzu with your Lohar to power level him. If you tap on the Lohar, that third skill offers an upwards of 70% extra experience gain.
Right.
And that is awesome. So that's how you can start to put experience into your Sun Tzu. And there is some upside to that, which is that Sun Tzu does AoE damage. So if you hit an extra barbarian while you're out and about doing this, guess what? It's going to start attacking you, and you didn't have to pay AP to beat it down. Pretty sweet deal.
I did not realize that he did that. Okay, I thought that was only YSG.
Yeah,
okay.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Wow.
He does so much for you. He slices, he dices, put them on your garrison.
Okay,
so
cool.
With those sculptures you have, I think you're already pretty far along and you're doing great with your Boudica. I think you can actually put them into Boudica if you wanted. And I think that would be a good place to go. Yes, because you chose Britain as your starting civilization, you will get more sculptures for this commander, but you're still so many sculptures away from maxing her out that I think investing in her would be a totally solid choice. Especially because, look at that, baby. Only 2 sculptures to get our next skill.
Yes.
Snap that off.
Yeah, okay, cool. So we'll be doing that, but where does that leave Sun Tzu, and who's going to be backing him up? So what I've gotten so far from talking to you right now, and guys, this is just as educational for me as it is for you watching this video, is that Sun Tzu is going to be my main guy on the wall. I need to power level him behind Lohar. He's also going to help Lohar, basically grabbing other barbarians around because we're aggroing them to get into the battle. Free AP, basically. And that's going to power level him up. Boudica is going to be there with someone else, by the way. Who should that be? Should I be doing one of my legendaries behind? Ethelflad?
If you can believe it, I actually think possibly one of your gathering commanders would be good to use. You want to get your gathering commanders to level 27 and then 37 pretty quickly. You do want to make sure you max their gathering skill first, but otherwise you want to get them leveled up so that you gather faster. More resources means more of your buildings powered up, and that'll be super effective as well.
Okay, fair enough. So now that that's out of the way, because that honestly is a bit off topic for this video, what are we doing with Sun Tzu, and who's taking spot number 2 on the wall right now? Because early in the kingdom, I don't have a lot of options yet.
So I think your Boudica is a fine choice as the second commander for your wall.
Okay.
Her second skill is only relevant for smashing barbarians, but because she's a commander you're actively working on, I think she will be a great choice.
Okay.
So she's going to be a really good pick. I would use the 2 universals it takes to unlock her next skill, so you get that immediate value. Or if you had gold keys or silver keys you weren't saving, you could go that route too. But perfect.
There we go.
There you go.
Consider it
so you
done.
got another skill on Boudica. That's awesome. As soon as she hits level 30, you'll star her up. You'll unlock that last skill, and you're only 250 sculptures away, I think, from having her expertise.
Yeah, not too far.
Great. Yeah, this is the path you want to be on. I do support the path of focusing in on your Boudica to get that expertise a little bit sooner rather than spreading around on your Sun Tzu.
Okay.
Although I would like to see your Sun Tzu get to level 20, in part so that if you were using him on the open field to battle, you could have a second march with him, but more to get some more talent points onto this commander.
Okay, and that's fair enough. And so I have the right commanders in the right place for right now.
You do.
What do I do since I don't have all those points and commander sculptures to drop into skills? Like, what should I be doing?
So as you're passively leveling him up, consider using some experience tomes on him as well to get those additional skills unlocked. With a commander like Sun Tzu, a lot of people try to avoid getting the Garrison skill, which is the second one, but because you're going to expertise him so quickly, and because you're using him on your wall, that's fine as you're leveling him up, because you're going to max him out pretty quickly anyways. You're going to have all of his skills, and he's going to be in a really great place. So from here, I think it might help to talk a little bit about the builds that you want to work toward.
Okay.
That way, as you're leveling him up, you can start to put those talents onto him and get him to a really great spot.
Yeah. And
now, in the sorry, go ahead.
No, I've seen a lot of different builds for Sun Tzu, but a lot of people are doing builds not for Garrison. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff go on over here and very little over here. But I feel like my trees are going to look a bit different. And part of the reason why I feel that way is because I've watched some of your commander guides and looked how you built him up as Garrison as well. And obviously, if you're building up a commander for Garrison, there's going to have a lot of Garrison points spent on the Garrison side.
That's right. The Garrison talents, and I think this is designed well, at least partially, give you a disproportionately good benefit for being in a situation where you're defending your city. They're worthless other places, but if you're defending your city, they're better than average. So You've got some of those talents now, but it's actually the two branches off to the side, the branch to the left, branch to the right, both of those that have some of the best talents that you want to work your way toward. One of those is Impregnable, which is going to substantially reduce the amount of skill damage that your Garrison takes. Point for point, I mean, 5% skill damage reduction per point is amazing. If you just get a quick look at the talent in the skill tree that looks like a shield.
Oh, in the skill tree. I'm sorry. Yep. Here we go. Found it.
Well, it's funny because they even have the exact same icon, which I didn't notice. But look at how much of a different amount that it gives you. So that's giving you only 2% skill damage reduction taken, whereas you're getting 5% from the one in the Garrison tree. It is a perfect example of why the Garrison tree is so good for defending your city. So I like Heraldic Shield. I like Nowhere to Turn, which is the one with looks like the skull that's on fire that gives you lots of rage.
Yeah, of course you like that one.
That's where you want to start grabbing those talents.
Okay, so would you suggest that I go grab some tomes right now, start to use those tomes to get more talent points to spend?
I think you could. That way you've got a slightly better primary Garrison setup. And a part of the reason I advocate that, instead of putting them onto your Peacekeepers, is that you're going to battle a lot of Barbarians on your Peacekeepers.
Yeah.
Over time, they're all going to get to max level, and it's just going to be wasted experience on your Peacekeepers. So you could consider taking Boudica to 30 as a higher priority, but I don't think that taking her to 30 is all that important right now.
Okay, so I should be taking him up to level 20?
I think that would be super reasonable. Right. Unlock that next skill. It's going to give you some infantry stats and damage taken reduction. That seems like a solid choice.
Well, let's do that right now. We're going to get him up there really quickly, and then we can spend a few of them, and then you just demonstrate where you want to see things going. And it's not going to take us very much to get there at all, Chiscool. I think we are just about there.
Yes, that jumper process.
Boom.
Hooked you up with a lot of goodies.
It sure did. I've gotten so many rewards. I'm in an amazing jumper group. They hook me up with every event, all the rewards everywhere. It's been really nice. So, okay, we have 6 more talent points to spend. Now, I did go for these center ones, which you're telling me I shouldn't have gone for right away. Should I be spending out here and then making my way around the sides?
I would start toward the shield one up top, Impregnable.
Okay.
Max that out. And then I would make your way down to the bottom branch.
Okay, so we're going to be able to get there. We're going to defensive all troops, and then we're going to get Nowhere to Turn, 1 talent point in there. And honestly, we're not very far from filling up what we already have lit up on this tree. It's not going to take very long, especially because I haven't been sending him out on any barbarian raids. So now I'm going to, and it's just going to make things happen more quickly, get that experience, and be able to progress. So he's going in the right direction. What are some of the skills, or not the skills, some of the talents that are key for him being one of the best Garrison commanders?
So my recommendation to you, if you can believe it, is to actually not go with a full Garrison build, but instead to focus in on the skill tree. And one of my favorite talents in the skill tree is the hand sticking out Rejuvenate. I didn't even have to say it.
I know you, man. Rejuvenate.
Okay. You know. So as soon as you've maxed out the one talent we were just talking about in the Garrison tree, make your way over to Rejuvenate to get that sweet, sweet rage gen. And you can even then go to the top of that skill tree, getting even more rage generation.
Yeah.
That I think will be really, really solid.
Yeah, and that's actually what you use for Boudica as well. If you check out my Boudica tree, similar thing going on over here. I'm making my way over to Rejuvenate for her. I know that you're a huge fan of Rage. You have been forever. And I guess you've turned me into a bit of a Rage fan as well. So, all right, so we're gonna basically everything that's lit up from the Garrison tree will max, and then we'll make our way over here to Rejuvenate. And once that is done, I assume we'll begin filling out the rest of this Garrison tree.
You know, I still would avoid putting more points in the Garrison tree. I think by the time you've maxed out the skill tree, I mean, we're talking like many months down the road, you'll probably use a talent reset by that point anyways, because you're going to want to change stuff around. But if you were looking at it right now and deciding where to put just a few extra points after you max that skill tree, I actually would drop them into the infantry tree. And there's a couple that I would pick. The one that is the Wolf Howling, I think is pretty good. It gives you extra defense when you get below 50% strength. Gosh forbid your city gets to that point, but if it does, that'll be helpful.
Mhm.
That'll also be really helpful when you get to Shadow Legion. Pretty cool event that you'll see. I don't know how old your kingdom has to be, but at some point you will.
It's coming.
And the skull that's on fire,
Of course.
tapped that one earlier. That's a good one. Generates rage for normal attacks.
Okay.
So I like that. And last but not least is the spear, which is going to give you a little bit of extra punch against cavalry, 9% extra damage. I'll take it.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. So, okay, so we're actually spreading things out a lot more than I anticipated. So I'm glad that we were here for this. I'm going to have to refer back to this video myself in about 2 months when I have a lot more points to spend so that I can make sure I spend them in the right spot. And again, as you mentioned earlier on, the talent tree for Boudica means absolutely nothing because it's not going to be used on Garrison at least. Now, another question I have for you, because I think you really guided me nicely. I think I was in a better position than I thought I was with Sun Tzu and with Boudica on the wall, but I'm definitely in a better place now with a better understanding. But what is the long-term goal? I'm 8 months, 10 months in as a free-to-play player. I'm not going to be spending a ton of money. Am I going to be grabbing YSG and making him a Garrison commander? I mean, I know I'm going to be grabbing him from the wheel when that comes, but I know that one of my options was to max him and make him one of my best commanders, but is he going to be a Garrison player for my city?
I would recommend it, yes.
Okay.
Even if you don't expertise him, he's going to be phenomenal in your Garrison. He does AoE damage, which is going to deter people from swarming down your city. And he also is just so good in so many different game modes.
Okay.
He's a really good pickup, really solid to work on the expertise. He also works as a secondary with just about any commander.
Yeah.
So I think what you're ultimately angling towards is a level 60 Sun Tzu primary and then an Isong secondary.
That's exactly what I was asking. So Isong is going to be behind my Sun Tzu. My Sun Tzu is going to be the boss, a really great free-to-play build that I'm putting together for my Garrison. And then both of those could actually be great backups for my peacekeeping commanders when they're going out because of that area of effect damage, correct?
Absolutely. So I would really put a heavy emphasis on leveling up your Garrison commander. And then also, you know, once you get to a point where Joan of Arc's first skill is maxed and also her second skill is maxed, I would start to power level her as well. I know your account is still so early in the very beginning 1 month in. Of the game.
1 month in, yeah.
But once you get to that point of having her first two skills maxed out, you're going to want to start to invest in basically power leveling her and Sun Tzu. Along the way, you're going to be leveling up your Boudica and Lohar. And those are all going to serve as really phenomenal commanders for you.
Okay.
Both in game modes to come and for defending your city. But I do want to say, we're talking about how you defend your city.
Yeah.
Okay. But you should not be taking hits from really powerful players if you can at all avoid it.
Of course.
Right? Like, if you're not online, gosh, I hope your resources, you keep them spent down and you know, your troops below your hospital capacity as much as you can do that so you don't have deaths. Right? Like you want to deter people from attacking you. And yes, we're setting a Garrison, but in many ways, your best Garrison defense is not looking like a tasty snack to go and hit.
I did recently hear you saying that in a video as well. And that's something that I've always tried to do is keep my resources down. I try and keep as much in my items as I can rather than having them all spent up top. But sometimes you have more in there than you could spend at the time. And, you know, you are that tasty snack. But that's a great tip. Making yourself not just stand out to someone as that tasty snack. And look at this. This is exciting. In 10 minutes, I'm going to have a level 18 wall. And we're going to be able to be moving up to City Hall level 8. Level 19 we'll be going to next. I'm making the push to getting those 5 Qs, man. We're working our way.
Do it, baby. You got to focus that City Hall. And, you know, when your walls level up, fun fact, it makes it so that you can burn for longer before you get automatically teleported for having been hit successfully by an enemy too many times.
So the stronger the wall, the longer you can burn. Sounds good.
Yeah. So pro tip. Make sure you put out the fire before you start repairing your wall. I did that in the opposite order. And the wall was still burning, and then I had to repair it again. And yeah, that was not effective.
Rip. Okay, Chiscool. Well, I think this was actually really fantastic. Gave a lot of great tips, not only about who to put on the wall and how to build them, but also how to strengthen them up and get them to the point where they're actually going to be, you know, they're going to be reliable on your wall. And even the long game, what I'm going to be doing in a year from now when I'm still in the same account, building it up. So really useful stuff. Any last things you want to say regarding Garrison before we leave for today?
You know, a couple tips as you are accumulating materials to make equipment, you will want to start to make equipment for your son Su to make sure that he has a lot of great gear onto him. You'll want infantry special talent equipment because he's an infantry commander, but the equipment actually doesn't have to be all for infantry stats because you're going to have all the troops in your city there to defend. So you can use some nice generic gear with a bunch of stats. That'll really help as well for giving you some extra punch.
Yeah, and Chiskel, that is going to be another video that you and I need to do together because to be honest, my friend, I do not understand the gear very much because when I started leaving Rise of Kingdoms a few months back, the gear started coming in and I never really got to play with it so much. So what I've been doing is I just continuously create these resources in the blacksmith for the day that I'm going to be ready to use them, which should probably be today, but it's not for me. So we'll be getting there at some point in time, and maybe that can be another video for you and I to hook up on, man.
That was good.
Yeah, it does. But guys, I want to thank you so much for sticking around. I personally love making these videos with Chiskel because it's not only bringing valuable content to you, but it really does help me learn the game even better so that I can make less mistakes on my journey inside of Rise of Kingdoms. And also, I'm going to tell you again, please check out his channel if you have not yet already. Again, it's linked in the description of this video, and it's also going to be in the cards at the end of the video. Just watch one of his latest, and if you like what he does, give him a subscription and watch what he brings out every single day, on top of some of the most lively live streams you've ever seen, focusing on crazy things happening in Rise of Kingdoms. But Chiskel, thanks for coming through, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me, and I'm really psyched to see your progress. It's nicely done.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. I'm really loving the jumper, so thank you for getting me into it. But we're out of here for today, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. Make sure you check out this video before you go, and remember, be good.